Since the day the Redmi Note 3 has been announced in India, the Le1s and Redmi fans have been arguing and fighting over which one is the best. In this video, I'll try to put an end to this argument, at least in terms of camera performance. I've compared these devices extensively on different parameters. Check out the description of this video for the links to those videos. So let's start off with the Redmi Note 3 first. This device has got a 16 megapixel rear camera with face detection, autofocus, and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. This is the camera interface. You can toggle HDR on off from here. Tap to focus is supported. You can tap to focus as well as adjust the exposure level, flash to on off or auto from here. So this is a very basic and simple user interface for the camera. This is typical MIUI, and you have all your shortcuts here: panorama, timer, manual control, and you have your beauty mode, night mode, scenes, and you can use tilt shift, and you have your fisheye effect, and you can go into the settings from here. You can scan QR codes. You can adjust the frame size to 4:3 or 16:9. Then you have the picture quality. You can set it to standard, high, or medium. Also have a couple of filters here for which you have to swipe left, and you have all these filters. You can use those. And this is the video recording mode. You get 16:9 aspect ratio and video recording. You can turn off the flash, and you can also do a time lapse and as well as a slow motion video recording, but the slow motion video recording is supported only in 720p, not in full HD. This camera is capable of doing 4K video recording, but the stock application supports up to full HD recording only. So this is the front facing camera. The 5 megapixel front camera looks pretty decent, and again the shutter speed is nice and fast, so I don't see any lag here. And even this camera supports all those filters. It can record full HD videos. So this was the camera interface of the Redmi Note 3. Now let's take a look at the Le1s. We'll have a look at the camera interface of the Le1s first, and then we'll take a look at all the pictures and video samples that I have taken with both the devices and compare them to each other. So let's quickly launch the camera of the Le1s. So as you can see, this is the UI of the camera of Le1s, and it is very similar to iOS. You've got some toggles down below of photograph, and you can take panorama and stuff. If you slide up from bottom, then you get an option of normal, HDR, and scene modes. And HDR takes a little time, but the shutter speed is very nice and fast and instant. And if you swipe left and right, you can toggle between videos and picture and different modes, and the video recording is supported up to 4K, so that's really nice. And you have a slow motion video recording mode here, which supports slow motion up to 2 times, and previously in the previous firmware it had slow motion recording up to 4 times. So when you swipe up from bottom, you get all these functions of night mode, HDR, and different scene modes and beauty mode. And when you go to the settings, you get options of delayed photo, and you can turn on and off shutter sound. You can set the aspect ratio. For the full resolution, that is 13 megapixel, the aspect ratio has to be 4:3, and this is the front facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel camera. And it is not that good, but it is decent. The shutter speed is nice, and you've got all the modes here as well, the beauty mode and stuff. And you have all the filters which you get in the rear camera. All those filters are there in the front facing camera as well, and you can set the resolution, and you can turn on off different things from this settings menu. You can set the minimum resolution to 3 megapixel and go up to 5 megapixel, and you can store location and stuff. So a really nice stuff here from Le1s as well. So both the devices have got pretty basic camera interface, and this was the front facing and rear facing camera interface of the Le1s. So let's quickly go and check out the photos and video samples that I've taken with both the devices. So as seen from this image, the Le1s auto mode provides more brighter image, whereas the HDR mode on both the devices are good. The Le1s provides more natural colors, while the colors on the Redmi Note 3 are more saturated, but that is not a bad thing. But more natural colors are caught by the camera of the Le1s, as you can see in these semi-indoor lighting conditions during daytimes. I've taken a set of pictures in auto as well as HDR mode, so you can clearly see the difference between both the cameras, and both the cameras are pretty nice, not bad. during daytime and especially during the outdoor shots. And even in this shot you can see that the Le1s auto mode has brighter image, whereas the HDR mode on both the devices does a really nice job of lightening up the shadows. But when we come indoors, both the devices have got really big amount of noise in the pictures, even in HDR mode and as well as the auto mode, even during daytimes. And the things get worse when you take pictures during night time. Now this image here has been shot during nighttime in cool lighting, and this one has been shot in warm lighting. And as you can see, the colors are more natural with the Le1s. The light in this picture is actually yellow. It is of warm shade, but the Redmi Note 3 is showing it to be blue. So Redmi Note 3 captures the colors to be on the cooler side, while the Le1s gives out natural and warm colors. So I'm really impressed with the camera of the Le1s, especially after the update. And these are the camera panorama modes of both the devices, and both of them do a really nice job of taking panorama pictures, and they do the stitching really nicely. And these are the front facing camera samples of both the devices. I've taken very few pictures so that you can get an idea, and I think the camera front facing camera of the Redmi Note 3 is better at taking still images. Now let's take a look at the video recording samples from both the devices, and this is the front facing camera video recording sample. On the left is the Le1s and on the right is the Redmi Note 3, and both the devices do a decent job of taking videos from the front facing camera, nothing great here. And both the devices are shooting this video at 1080p, so that is a really nice thing. But according to me, the Le1s is slightly better at video recording from the front facing camera, as it produces a slightly brighter image, and I think that is important. But both the devices do a decent job of recording videos from the front facing camera. This is a slow motion camera sample of both the devices, and definitely the Le1s has an upper hand. It has true slow motion recording at 1080p. The Redmi Note 3 supports only up to 720p, and the slow motion is a joke on the Redmi Note 3. This is the rear facing camera sample from both the devices. On my left is the Le1s and on the right is the Redmi Note 3, and this camera sample has been taken at 1920 by 1080. That is full HD. The Le1s inbuilt camera app does support 4K video recording. You can do 4K video recording with the Redmi Note 3 as well, but as it does not support 4K by default, so I'm taking the video samples at 1080p only. As you can see, both the devices have really nice video recording, and we are doing it out in the daylight. It might be different when you take it indoors and during night time, but I've taken this video samples during daytime, and as you can see, both the devices have really nice and stable video recording. But the thing with the Redmi Note 3 is that I've kept it at continuous autofocus, and it constantly hunts for focus, so that is a bit of a turn off. Otherwise, both devices are doing really nice stuff here. According to me, the overall winner of this camera comparison is the Le1s in terms of the rear facing camera, while the Redmi Note 3 performs better in the front facing camera. So choose wisely which is more important to you, the rear facing camera or the front facing camera. Hope this video was helpful. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.